Magic.
And what are we calling this evening's show then, Angie?
When the party's over.
When the party is over.
Indeed.
Okay, let me see if I can get that Y on. When the party's over is not right. I need to get the Y on. When the party is over.
Cool.
Right then. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Right. Have a great show.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
And we're live. Hello, everybody. Hi on YouTube if you're there. And hello, Val, Kevin, Andy, and anyone that's listening to the recording. So, what am I going to waffle on about this evening? Well, during the week, in fact, I'll get to that bit in a minute. So, the title is What Happens When the Party is Over? And you might be thinking, huh? Okay. I'll get there. Yeah. Well, that's when the music's over. And I was going to do a little bit of that, actually. When the music's over, turn out the light, turn out the light, turn out the light. And he does his little thing, doesn't he? I love Jim. He's a good guy. So, yeah, what is this all about? Okay. So, baseline, I reckon we can all agree that this realm that we are experiencing, as we know it, right now, is undergoing quite a significant change. And if you like, you can argue with me about that later on. That's fine. But to be honest, you don't have to look that far to witness these changes. I mean, today the light has been very white again. When it's been here, it's got a lot of fluffy clouds as well. I think we've had some rain, possibly, not sure. But I am suggesting that there are multiple layers of reality that are heaving and rippling at the moment. I do like that word, heaving, because that's what it feels like. To be quite frank, that's what it feels like. Today has been a heaving day today. Not literally heaving, but I've not felt great today. I think, and I don't know if anyone else has been experiencing this today, I had, and it didn't feel like it was part of my physical body. It was quite strange. Around the solar plexus, I had these strange pains, but it wasn't pain. Like I say, it felt like it was something in my auric field, if you like, which was really strange. And I'd never experienced that before. So that was a new one. And then when I was in the kitchen, because I wasn't even going to eat this morning, and that's very unlike me. I was just, making breakfast, and it just went like that. As quickly as it came, it went, which tells me one thing: energy. So it was energetic. Everything's energy anyway, we know that. But it just went. It didn't even trail away. It just went like that. It was, I'm like, oh, okay. So whatever that was, it's now gone. Thank you. So anyway, yes, the heaving and rippling that's going on at the moment. So I think we are still in a geomagnetic storm, which was a G2, but has now gone up to a G4. So that's pretty hefty. So just on a basic level, the sun and the earth are both, I mean, other planets and stuff are doing stuff as well. I think Jupiter is coming to the end of doing its magic. It's very expansive magic, or more expansive magic. So both the sun and the earth are extremely active at the moment. So the sun is chucking out stuff. The earth is responding with seismic activity, volcanic stuff going on. Andy was mentioning aurora earlier, so that's an indication that the sun is doing crazy things. But you could even say it's actually quite explosive at the moment. So both these bodies, the sun and the earth, are literally alchemizing old paradigms, which no longer can fit through the whole of the sieve. So what am I talking about sieves for? I'm not doing a baking show. So if you think of ascension like a sieve, so when you sieve flour, it refines the flour, but any bits. So if you bake with wholemeal flour, the bits get left in the sieve, or bigger bits get left in the sieve. So that's what it's like. It's like we're being put through a sieve, and all the stuff that no longer is relevant to our continuation on this path gets left behind. So I put it out. I'm putting it out there that that's what's happening at the moment with the sun and the earth. They're kind of reacting to each other, if you like. So it's letting it all out, basically. That's what I wrote down when I was doing my notes earlier. But how that can be perceived? That can be perceived as chaos. Yeah. So a little while ago, a couple of years ago, I think it was, we connected with Discordia, who is one of these deities that people go, oh, you don't want to be doing that. It's like Hecate and Sekhmet and I'm just trying to think of other ones. Rhiannon, excuse me, Rhiannon is one. Odin is another one. Oh, you don't want to be going. Well, actually, when someone says to me, you don't want to be going near that, I go, okay, show me the way. So what Discordia teaches us, which is, I think, is a very valid lesson in these times, is there's a very stark difference between creative order and disorder, which is essentially void energy. She is the daughter of the void, and destructive order and disorder, which you could actually say is the fear matrix. Okay, so there's two very different energies going on there. You could also say the void energy is love consciousness. So Discordia is actually the daughter of love consciousness. Thank you. Round of applause, please. So, as all energy precipitates, precipitates, sorry. So, as this sun stuff is going on, solar stuff is going on, and it's obviously affecting the earth, this then rains down all the way through to our own individual experiences. And further as well, I'm sure ants are experiencing it on some level as well. So it's multiple layers. It's a layers thing again. It's multiple layers that are affected by the energy that the sun is putting out. So that's kind of like, that's my preamble anyway. So bearing all that in mind, so the title of this broadcast, what happens when the party's over and when the music's over, turn out the light, haha. This came about earlier in the week when myself and Ian were mulling over a phenomenon that we are observing at the moment, which is extremely destructive things going on in just around where we live. And I know that these things are happening elsewhere, and I think it's actually a global phenomenon that is happening. I don't know that for sure. I have listened to other people that are talking about the same things in different areas on this planet. So what sort of things am I talking about? I'm talking about very and I'm I'm not talking about cutting down of trees. I mean, that's bad enough, yeah. But this is people literally stripping bark for no reason off of trees. And I'm like, well, why? You know, you can't even get your head around. Can't even get your head around what would inspire someone to do something so destructive. Yeah. Littering. Litter. It's just phenomenal. And I don't know if where you live it's the same, but I know there are places that we visit where there is none. Yeah. It's actually not a thing. Fly tipping. Oh my goodness. I reported 3 fly tips just in one day. It's insane. Truly insane. Even the breakdown of institutions, which has been happening for a little while, but we had I got a text and then I got an email from our local council saying that the people that do, or because they contract out everything these days, as we know. So the people that they contract all their maintenance for their properties out to, they haven't even got a stopgap. They've just stopped. For what reason, we don't know, because they don't tell you that bit. Whether it was because they couldn't pay the bill or whether the contractor decided they didn't want to do it anymore, we don't know. But that's without even a stopgap. That's a quite significant breakdown of, or an indication of a breakdown of that institution. And again, I don't know if you're having a similar thing, experiencing similar things in, where you are. So we kind of postulated on this on our walk with the dog. That these occurrences, this very fear matrixy kind of thing that we're observing, can be likened to what happens when the party's over and when people are told to leave. Now, I don't think when I was a teenager in my early 20s, I don't think I was ever at a party where, and I was. Yes, I was. I was actually, yes. One of my housemates back in the days when I used to house share, had put posters up around the town that we were having a party. I'm like, you are ridiculously stupid for doing that. You could get anybody turn up on the front doorstep. And we did. And the place got trashed. It got trashed. So yes, I have been in a situation where you tell people to leave and they trash the place. So is that what we're kind of observing with this extremely destructive behavior? Because, most people, you ask them to leave and they would just leave with no problem. But if there were unsavory characters at the party, they might trash the place on their way out of the door. So what has this got to do with ascension? Okay. So these changes that we are experiencing at the moment, which you could say is ascension, you could call it, all sorts of other things. It's basically making way for something new. And the baseline of that is frequency. Yeah. So we're essentially, from our own physical bodies to the planet, is if it's changing frequency, then the things that no longer resonate at that frequency have to fall away, going through the sieve. Yeah. So the old has to be cleared. And this is definitely our own personal experience as well. From people to behaviors that, we don't do anymore, to just what we observe outside. It's quite interesting. So these unsavory characters, yeah, which I was told, I was given a message in 2022. It was a direct message. They have gone. And I'm like, okay, because sometimes spirit talks in my ear. It's very loud when it does it. So I know that it's not anything but that. Yeah, there's no messing about when it decides to speak to me or my higher self, whatever you want to call that. They said they have gone. And they were clearly referring to what you could call the puppeteers, which when I was very young, I got a very clear image of what that was. Puppeteers, pulling strings. So if they've gone, I suppose what I took from this was the they that everyone talks about, they, yeah, the energies that we cannot, they're not physically on the planet, you could say. If they've gone, then what we are left with is the clearing up. Is the clearing up of the place that's been trashed. Yeah. So you could, with the trickling down of that energy of whoever they were who have gone, the ones, I suppose you could say, the beings that aligned with that energy, they've been cast adrift, if you like. So are we witnessing that trickling down? So you know, those beings have gone. Yeah, we have this humongous energy of awakening. Yeah. So these beings that were aligned to the they that have now gone, what are they going to do when they're told to leave the party? Are they going to trash the place? Maybe. Yeah. It's certainly a layer that you can, I suppose that, you know, the reason why I want to talk about this was, you know, if we're supposed to be experiencing, you know, ascension, then why are we seeing chaos? Why are we seeing it? You know, surely that would have, you know, died down by now, but it's actually increasing. It's ramping up. So, you know, you could say that it's, you know, I call them remnants that are, you know, as they go out the door, as they leave the party, they're making a mess. Yeah. Or you can flip it and you could postulate that this trashing the place energy, is this really just the remnants of that density coming to the surface so we can see it? So we can see it and we can clean it up, or council come and pick it up if you report it as a fly tip. And we did a big litter pick. When was that? Last Sunday. And some people really, you know, they you know, they thank you for doing it. Other people take the piss, which I find really interesting. It's fascinating. So is what we're observing, that density that has literally come out into the physical realm so it can be cleared, yeah, in whichever way, shape or form that gets cleared? Or are they both the same thing? So I would say that it is one and the same thing. So whatever the fly tipping, the litter, the destructive nature of some of these people, whatever that is coming out of them. Yeah. It's coming out of them to, well, you could say it's already been alchemized, and what's left is the result of the alchemization. For example, if you take salt water and you boil it down, the water vapor disappears and you're left with salt in the bottom of your crucible. I like that word, crucible. So is that really what we're seeing? So that's kind of an open question, because it's not pleasant to observe it.
Old guard fall away. The enslavers are falling away one by one.
Yes, they've definitely the main puppeteers have definitely gone. That is something that I know because I was told that directly. And so then what we get is the puppets, if you like, are gradually becoming less. They're not in our field as much. So you could also say that as we go on this awakening journey and our field of experiences expand, so what you see with your eyes, what you hear with your ears, what you smell, all those senses are expanding, and we are more connected to the part of us that is bigger and sees everything, then we see things that we could not see before. So maybe it's also a case of, because these, they were here for quite a long time. So you could say that, are we now actually able to see the trash, if you like? Are we able to now see the trash? It'd been there all along, but we couldn't actually see it. You could also postulate that. I think either way, whichever one of those fits for you, I think we can definitely say that stuff is coming to the surface without question. And that's in the physical body as well. So the thing that we call the physical body is the last place where something comes out. And I've known that for quite a few years, when I had quite a nasty bout of pustular psoriasis on my feet. Actually, only on one foot. It's only ever on the right foot, which is the out direction. Yeah, which is quite interesting. And what I realized after a while is this wasn't something that was starting in the physical body. It was actually something leaving, and that is the last place. That's the last call before it leaves completely, is the physical body. So you could say, planet being a physical being, that it is having a breakout. It's having acne, if you like. So it's coming up and it's coming out. And we experienced that actually in, what was that, 2021, on a camping trip. It was the last family camping trip that we had. And normally the weather where we go, we didn't go last year because of Ian's problems, but it'll be a while before we go, I think. But the place we normally go camping at least once a year, the weather's, sometimes you get rain, obviously. It is the UK after all. But generally, the weather's not too extreme. But this camping trip was bonkers. It was like everything, all the muck from, so this is, you know, this is the stuff coming up. All the muck that was underneath the soil had come up, which was instigated by the wind and rain. It was a crazy, it was a storm unlike any other storm, because we'd been camping at this place before and been in storms, but this was very different. And the stuff that was coming up through the ground, it stank. It was, I don't even know how to describe the smell, but it was like all the all the congealed energy was coming up to, you know, it was undergoing alchemization, and then what was coming up was like the sludge. It was vile. It really was. It was something else. It really was. And what we realized when we got home, when we started doing some divination on what that was all about, it was very definitely a massive shift. And that would have been August 2021. So have a think back to August 2021. It would have been the beginning of August as well, because we had my birthday on that camp. You know, did you experience something in your reality that was like similar to that? It was a humongous purge, I would say. And I think that is, you know, because, you know, when you look at fly tipping, or, you know, there's litter everywhere, you know, it's not pleasant to look at. And, you know, who wants to live in that? But I think, you know, we can entertain the idea that this is what it is. You know, and if people don't know how to channel that energy into something creative, then essentially what they are plugging into is the fear matrix, as opposed to what Discordia represents, which is creative order and disorder, which is what nature does. Because nature breaks down, yeah, you could call that chaos, and then she regrows again. Whereas, I mean, what's an example of destructive order and disorder? Well, fly tipping. There we go. There's nothing creative about that, I suppose. I don't know, maybe at a push, you could say maybe a photographer would find that quite interesting, because there's a creative process in photography. But no, I'm not buying that one. So, yeah, when the party's over and the unsavory characters are leaving, they're basically leaving. What they're basically doing, I would suggest, is they're leaving their frustration and their anger, because they're not aligned with love consciousness. They're aligned with the fear matrix. So there's lots of stuff that comes with that. You got frustration and anger just being two of them. Yeah, they're leaving that in your home. Yeah, when the party's over. So I've just been given a note. Hang on. So it's as the frequency changes, like a dial on your CB radio, Andy, you begin to see the old frequency, which is, as you said, Kevin, so it's kind of fading away. Yeah. And then the new frequency is coming in. You could liken it. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this. So sometimes when you look in nature, like in a forest, you can see the matrix wiggling. I get it when I go into meditation. I know when I'm entering that alpha, maybe even theta brainwave state, because I get wiggly lines. It's like I'm going through some kind of a portal. So you could say that's the same thing with a frequency change. I'm not sure why I've been given that note, what it relates to, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to pull some cards. In fact, I'm not going to pull cards, first of all. I'm going to pull, it's spelled Ogham, but it's actually pronounced Om, which is really cool. They're basically little sticks made of wood with signs up. Whoop, there we go. There's one. It's just fallen down. Let me get that. Hang on. Where'd it go? Oh, my God. There it is. Cool. So that one fell out. So we'll take that one. So in relation to, whoops, in relation to the question, what happens when the party's over, and what I've just been talking about. So this is a piece of, hang on, it's 3 lines, where is it? Broom. There we go. Broom, literally sweeping away. Oh, I love it. Let me find number 13. Let me read this for you, or a little bit of it anyway. Okay. So essentially, with this om stick, yes, we have broom. Oh, there's another one that's just appeared as well. Okay, I'll pick that one up in a minute. Which is literally cleaning up. Now, this is interesting. Soul or astral travel. That's interesting. And the restoration of harmony. So literally, as these unsavory people leave the party, yeah, what do we get? Well, we clean up behind them, we throw the rubbish away, yeah. But then we come into something that is more aligned to who we truly are. And it restores harmony. That is quite amazing. But it's also around, now this is interesting because of what I experienced this morning. Entities can be attached to you without you knowing. Well, I knew that it wasn't my energy that was doing that thing around my solar plexus. They can be very draining and need to be cleared off. So cleansing your aura, which, if you think about it, everything has an aura, yeah. So even the tree that has been damaged by someone pulling off bark, which is so bizarre. Oh, what that was. What was I saying? You could say that creates in fact, no, you do. That's exactly what it does. So when I had that this morning, so I'm just thinking back to my experience this morning, I was very aware that it wasn't my energy. It was something that was around me, around the solar plexus area, which is interesting because of the solar activity we've been having. It could have also been an expansion of that particular chakra, because that can feel quite uncomfortable. But it didn't feel like that. I know what that feels like. Didn't feel like that. So you could say that there was something trying to come in. And because of the way I go about things, yeah, because of the way I go about things, it didn't last that long. And it went as soon as it came. So extrapolating that out, these unsavory beings that have had to leave the party because essentially their frequency can no longer be here now. If you ever watch the series Fringe, they explore that a lot. Parallel realities have different frequencies, and if you pull something over, it won't stay unless you find a workaround. But it doesn't usually end good when you do. So yeah, that's interesting. Broom. Now the other one that fell out of the bag on its own, it wasn't there and then it was. Oh, I love these things. Let me find this one. This is fur. Okay, so let's see what fur says about this particular energy. Oh, okay. Objectivity. Far seeing and inner wisdom. Okay. So this is, so essentially what I've done here in postulating what this is, that we're actually, what is the actual experience and not the perception of what we see. Yeah. It's very different. So, yeah, you see fly tipping and you know, I usually go into a tirade about it. But then when you step back a bit and you get that distance, that objective distance, you get a little bit of clarity on what it actually is energetically, because everything is energy. Yeah. So it says here. So by trying to understand these what did I call them? The unsavory people, the unsavory beings that, you know, have been told to leave the party because they don't belong here anymore. They didn't belong here in the first place. Understanding what that is and why they are doing what they're doing, it says here, it will also help us to see and understand things from another's point of view. Okay. And what does that say? And will aid any situation where far-sighted vision is needed. The fair is a strong energy, a sign of good health and vigor, an elevated state of mind. So essentially, the idea that, you know, what we might experience and label chaos is actually not. It might feel chaotic, but it's actually not a destructive, chaotic energy. So you flip it and it becomes a creative order and disorder from the void energy. Yeah. Very interesting. And then it.
Gee, I pulled 8 of Wands, the Emperor, or it says the Lord on the Druid one, but then I thought, I'm going to turn over the deck, and it was a Strength card on the bottom of the deck. Good card, eh?
Oh, I love that. That is very cool. But it also says, from this moment now, great things can be done, far-sighted actions taken, and new objective insights gained. And oh, Kevin, listen to this. The fur indicates strength and healing learnt from past experiences. So what do we learn from, you know, these unsavory characters that were here and are no longer here, or are leaving the party because the music's over and we've turned out the light? Well, we learn not to invite them to the party again, don't we? That's what I would say.
That's it. I'm just looking at it. 8, 4, 8. Like 8 of Wands. The Emperor is the 4 card, and the Strength is the 8 card. 8,
Wow.
4, 8. Awesome.
Wow. I'm also going to pull a card from, this is a very old oracle deck. I can't even remember what it's called. The box is long gone. But it's basically crystals. What a surprise. So, what have we got? Tiger's Eye. Wow. There we go. Tiger's Eye is all about strength as well. Courage, strength, highest potential. Wow. Oh, okay. It instills a detachment. So again, that's that perspective on, you know, the things that we're observing that we go, oh my God, why are people doing that? It's so, you know, it's crazy behavior basically.
First ring I ever bought myself after working Tiger's Eye set in gold.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, detachment from any outcome to promote a happy, successful journey. Strengthens your heart.
And it all went quiet.
Have you lost me, or am I here?
Has everyone?
What happened?
I've no idea, Kevin. You spoke and it all went dead.
Hang on, let me go and come back.
All right.
Am I back?
You are.
Good. Yeah, so Tiger's Eye. I think that's a really, and I would suggest that if you want to work with a crystal, if you're feeling like there is chaos out there, yeah, then I would suggest you work with Tiger's Eye. That's my suggestion right there. Indeed. Okay. So would anyone like me to pull them a card or an Om stick?
Go on, I'll jump in and be the first. Yes, please, Angie.
Okay.
What has the week ahead got in store for me?
Okay, let's see. Right. This little stick. There's another one. You got two, Andy. I pulled one out and then one fell out of the bag again. That's quite interesting. Okay, so we've got, that's three, the Alder, and the Hazel. So we got Alder. Oh, there we are. Okay, where is it? No, Alder. Okay. Inner confidence. So this is protection from your true nature. So it's not protection as in you must, you know, put a fence up and things like that. This is the protection that comes from your own personal sovereignty, from that inner stillness, that divine inspiration. So I'd say there's definitely something around maybe there's something that's going to change for you this week, Andy. Let me see if I can. Let me look at the other one.
I might give you some insight from the Wild Unknown
Hazel.
Tarot. I got the Emperor card and the Mother of Cups for Andy.
Okay, so the Hazel. So the Hazel is definitely is backing that up, because the Hazel is a tree of wisdom, creativity, transformation. So I would say, Andy, this week coming is going to be one of quite high creativity, but inspired. Like you'll get an idea and you go, right, I've got to do that now. That kind of creativity where nothing can get in the way of it. And that could.
I've got nothing on the cards for that.
See, well, that's the thing. Divine inspiration, when it's like lightning. Exactly. It's like lightning.
Hey, Andy, the Mother of Cups is insightful psychic. The Mother in Cups rivals the High Priestess with her natural psychic abilities. She's a gentle, tranquil woman whose insights bring healing to those around her. She strives when amidst her family, the arts and music, or beauty of any kind. Like a true swan, when the Mother of Cups is pushed, she becomes aggressive and defensive. She'll commonly see herself as a victim when distressed in a situation.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That backs that up as well. I like that. Anyone else like me to pull them a card or the Om sticks?
Hi, Angie. I'd like a card, please.
A card. Okay. So I'm going to go to my Lenormands, my little siren song. Whoop, there we go. Flew out. Ooh. You have a gift on the way.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find out a bit more. Well, let's take a stick. Let's take a stick. So yeah, this could be an actual bunch of flowers, or this could be a beautiful gift. Let me see if I can get some more information.
Thank you.
Birch. This is something new, because the birch is the first in the Om sticks. So this is new ideas, journey. So if I don't know if you've got plans to go anywhere this week, Val, but there'll definitely be a beautiful journey for you this week.
Okay.
Moon came out. Moon.
So something is definitely being uncovered on that journey, Val.
Okay. I'll let you know.
Wow. And when I say beautiful journey, I mean this bouquet on this card is stunning.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else?
Angie, could you post that? Could you send me that? A screenshot of that? Would that be okay?
Yeah, I can do that. Cool.
And I can see how it speaks to me as well. Thank you.
Cool.
Angie, what are those other things you have? Not cards, but what are they?
Om sticks.
Oh, yeah, try one. I've never even heard of them.
They're a Celtic druidy, Celtic system used by the druids. Okay, so
Cool. Is it like casting lots, sort of?
yeah, so it's a bit like runes. Oh, we got willow. Okay. So the willow is very water. This is the unconscious, the intuition, the moon. Funny enough, Kevin.
And there's a huge ancient willow outside my, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh well. So I'll pull a card as well. Let's pull I've got a little mini tarot set here. Let's pull. So this is a journey through something that has been maybe just been revealed to you. So there's a journey around that. It's a very watery energy, so it could feel like it's
I'm feeling drawn to Nova Scotia. So yeah,
sorry?
that's on the ocean. I possibly could be going to I'm being drawn to Nova Scotia, the ocean there, Cape Breton area, Bay of Fundy. Yeah, that's probably my next stop after I leave here.
So I've also pulled the Magician card. That's very cool.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's working out sort of like that. Yeah, transmutation.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, use your magic. This particular Magician card, they're so small, these cards. He has a triquetra earring on one ear, so that's power 3. It has the Venus sign as an earring on the other ear. Balanced all the elements, obviously. And he has the, you know, the when they portray an atom, it has those, I don't know what it's called, those kind of oval, two ovals that are crossed. I don't know if I can take a picture of this one because it's such a tiny card. Let me see if I can do that. They're very tiny cards, so bear with me. Try and get it to focus. There we go. That's kind of, the light's a bit wonky on it. I don't know what they call that, the kind of atom depiction lines.
Oh, that's the infinity. That's the infinity symbol, Angie.
No, the one on his head. The one on his
the one on his
forehead.
head.
I don't know if that has a name, that particular symbol. I'm not sure. So there might, what I would say, what I'm trying to get to with that is there might be some kind of like a crossroads, but it might be a case of you have to go round. Okay, round in a circle that's not a circle. There you go. I don't know if that makes sense.
Like a spiral up.
No, it's not a spiral. There might be. It's like.
It reminds me of an atom.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. So there might be something that is, when you're on that journey, that is comes back on itself. I don't know, but it's not the infinity. It's not the infinity sign. So it doesn't. It's like when it comes back on itself, it's in a different place. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, maybe. I'll have to look that one up because I'm not sure if that has an actual label. But the willow is also, so this is that journey that you're going on. It's going to be a very intuitive journey, that's for sure, because the willow is all about that. So we would call that a witch walk. That's what we would call that. So you don't have a plan. You have a vague idea of where you might be going, and then you just let your intuition guide you.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing for sure. Yeah, got to get rid of a lot of stuff first.
Cool. Is there anything else?
Just check out the station group. I've just posted an image up that may help.
Oh, let's have a look. Yes. Does it have a name, that symbol? Although it's only got the 2, it hasn't got the 3 oval shaped things.
I just did a quick search for nucleus and then looked on images and scrolled down and found that. Just let me go back and I've closed it now. Let's just retry that.
Interesting.
The orbital shapes and the quantum leaps of the electron to various energy levels.
There might not be neutrons, so that would bring it down to 2, because everything is duality, right?
So it could be the idea of positive and negative. So that'd be protons and electrons, rather than the 3, which would be the proton, electron. Oh, right, okay. It's not got, that's weird. Yeah, that one hasn't got a label. Interesting. Yeah, so I would say that is describing on his forehead, that's the balance. There's a balance there between the...
In reality, there are no particles, so there's no such thing as a physical atom. It's energy.
Yes. That's interesting. Anything else? No, I think that's pretty much it on that. The willow, actually, the willow is quite fascinating. It can actually reseed itself from a broken bit of branch, which is fascinating. I like that. It's a bit like jasmine in that respect, actually. Jasmine can, once it touches the ground, it then starts to reroot itself, which is very clever.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I want to grow some then. It smells good, eh?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Would anyone else like a card or an om stick?
Oh, gratitude for that, Angie. That was very insightful. The branches are such a beautiful color of yellow in the springtime.
Yes. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Anyone else?
Hi, Angie.
Hello. What would you like? Would you like card
She's
or
disappeared again.
have I disappeared?
She gone.
I think so.
Hello.
Hey, Angie, how you doing?
I'm good. Don't know why I keep disappearing. It's weird.
That's really strange.
I'm weaving in and out of existence.
And whichever feels right.
Okay, so I'll take a stick. Oh, what's that one? That's a big one. Okay, so that is 1, 2. That's willow again. Wow. So what number is that? That's number 4. Is that willow? Yeah, that's willow. Number 4. So I will also pull a Lenormand card. So the willow, it's very connected with water, intuition, there we go, the receptive aspect. Oh, and we've got the heart. So I would say
Card with an infinity on the forehead.
Sorry, Kevin, what was that?
I cut the strength card from the Wild Unknown, but it's a lion with a holding a white rose with an infinity sign on its forehead and the sun coming down upon it.
Cool.
Amazing looking card. Cool.
So Jackie, yes, this is definitely a journey of, and it might be one you're on now, journey of your opening your connection to what we call love consciousness, and allowing that to inspire your intuitive creativity. Yeah, that's what I'm getting with these two.
Oh,
But
that's really cool.
It's
and it kind of resonates. Yeah,
it's
cool.
a big it's a big feeling. That's what I'm getting. It's not just a little thing.
Well, especially with this lion card, right? Wow.
Yeah, because there's there's more strength in opening that heart space than there is building a wall to close it down.
Yeah, true. Oh, cool. Lovely. Thank you.
Cool. Fantastic. I'll share this card as well. So this is it's a Lenormand card. Let me just get it. Boop. They kind of have a bit of a steampunky siren kind of feel to them. And Val, I will share your card as well. If I can get it to focus. 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 There we go. Okay. Yeah. I love these cards. They're really cool. And I pulled Tiger's Eye for that, didn't I? Okay. Did anyone have any musings on what I was waffling about earlier?
I was resonating very well with what you're saying. It's right along what I've been investigating, and it's very similar.
Cool. I like that. Anyone else have any thoughts? Even if you think I'm completely barking mad.
No, I know you're not barking mad at all.
Good. That's good to know. Okay. If no one has anything they'd like to share or anything they'd like to comment on, then I think should we wrap up, Andy?
Angie, can I just say very quickly, I resonate with a lot of what you said, and obviously we've had these conversations over the years too. And I think it's like, can we just like hurry up and finish this party, please? Because
yes.
So many people I know are so tired now,
Yeah.
including myself, and it's like I want to get on to the next, whatever the next is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It can only be better, so I just want to get onto that and
absolutely.
SH1T stuff behind.
The only issue I've got, or that I can see, or that I intuitively feel, is that those in power that are losing the power are going to lash out very, very strongly as they lose their grip on that power. And could leave a wake of destruction in the path of leaving. With a great, well, like you said about the mess and the flight of it, they could leave a huge lot of rubble in the wake of their leaving for us to then clear up afterwards. If there's not many of us left, then it's going to be a big job.
But there's another way of looking at that. There's another way of looking at that, Andy, which is be careful what we create, right? So if we think that they're going to leave a great big mess behind, it's going to take a lot of.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is that there are billions of people out there with an ethos or an agenda or an ideology that's been indoctrinated, implanted, and imprinted in their brains that will continue doing what they've been told to do, regardless of you or I, or however many of us there are. They will still continue, and their legacy of the last 2,000 years, they exist among us. They're in every country, and they will eventually be the catalyst that those that are losing the grip that'll be like their final card to play. They're like, well, screw you, here you go, bang.
Yeah, hence all the destruction in America. But yeah, there's going to be, like at the last moment, it's like a last dance, right? So
exactly.
Confusion,
Oh, what's happened there? Oh, dropped out again.
Anyone change their mind, and they will continue doing what they do. They exist. There's no way of denying that. So what needs to happen is more of them to wake up, to realise that they've been indoctrinated, that they've been brainwashed, or whatever it is that's been done to them, systematic, just like we have through our culture. You know, we've grown through that ourselves, and we've grown out of it. But it needs them to do that as well, and that's the issue that I see. But yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with you, Val. We need to focus on that, and we need to bring forward that. that power of positivity and that power of clarity that says,
yeah.
more to that.
It almost feels like it's a kind of discussion of its own, you know, not a tiny little thing that I'm going to bring up at the end of this show. Because I think there's probably a lot more to be said on that from different perspectives. So yeah.
It's much darker and deeper than you think, Val. It's
You don't know how deep I think, Kevin. Sorry.
they're not like us.
Yeah.
They cannot give birth like us. They eat up, so yes, there are some negative entities here that will be removed because they're not of.
Well, they won't go down without a fight, and that's the issue.
They're fighting. They're fighting,
Yeah.
but they're.
But what I would say,
it's what the landmines that they leave behind that are going to cause them massive destruction.
what I would say though, is in the face of that,
Asians here and send it back.
Go on, Angie, shout it out.
what I would say in the face of that, we have to hold the line.
Yes.
We have to hold the line. Yeah.
Oh yes, we have to hold the line. We have to be strong and carry on.
And that's what some of us are here for. I know that's what I'm here for. I'm here to hold that light, to hold that whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The brighter we shine our lights around the world, the more darkness we expose, and then they
Absolutely.
dissipate into nothingness. See ya.
Well, something really interesting is happening around where we live. People are disappearing. Literally, in the past week, 3 people have disappeared.
Oh.
My super was told to get out in a week. Yeah, the monster left, and the management company disappeared. The building was the whole new company who would buy this building. She let it go to, where in a handbasket. So yeah, she lied to me. I cut her, and old face lie. I said, for Serbia, now she's gonzo.
So you could postulate that if
Tobias is now barking at whoever's dog's barking.
Sorry, I'll mute myself. It's my dog.
That's funny.
He's looking at the front door now, looking intently as if, where's that dog coming from?
I'll mute. Sorry, Andy.
That's
I
funny.
gotta go outside, everyone. My friends are out there, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go smoke. Never mind.
We know what you mean.
Going outside for a bit. So nice to meet you all and be with you again. And later.
Cheerio.
Get some of that Cali.
That's funny.
Right, so Andy,
Yes.
do you want to wrap up a few final words so I can stop the recording then, and we can carry on afterwards if you wish?
Yeah, I suppose I would just say, don't forget, this is all under the umbrella of Ascension. Don't forget that. Never forget that. We are in that energy right now. So everything we see, everything we experience is under that umbrella. It might not look fucking great, but it's still under that umbrella of Ascension. That's what I would say. Over and out.
And we've stopped. Brilliant.